Hello and welcome to the MMA Elevator with me, Darius. Last week we won 1.2k off £30. We're going to do the same this week. Edson Barbosa versus Drakkar Klose. Edson Barbosa is 2-3 in his last 5 at featherweight. However, he has been fighting very high level competition. His last fight was a decision loss to Leroy Murphy, where he did get beaten up, but he survived 5 rounds of Leroy Murphy. That's not the easiest thing to do. Leroy Murphy is a great boxer. And yeah, fights well, back foot, front foot. Edson Barbosa doesn't do well with jabs, and that is probably why he lost that fight primarily. Drakkar Klose is a medium good striker, medium good grappler. He's not got the best takedowns. He's not the best striker in the world. He does well at feinting and pushing guys back, which has tended to do really well against Barbosa. However, I do think this is a massive step down for Barbosa. I think Drakkar Klose is nowhere near the level that Barbosa has fought at, has been at. I think he's going to be at a speed disadvantage. The only thing I think he has going for him in this fight is the pressure. If you can pressure Barbosa, if you can really dog it and get really in there with takedowns and all that sort of stuff, I think he can do really well. I think he can do feints and stuff. He can push Barbosa back and make him miss. However, Drakkar Klose is not the best guy at feinting. He's not the best guy at pressuring guys. He's not the best guy at shooting. He's not the best guy at getting the takedowns. I do think this is going to be a massive step up for Drakkar Klose fighting a guy like Edson Barbosa. Is Barbosa coming back in lightweight because he didn't like featherweight? Yes. I think he struggled with the speed of the other guys. I think he's lost a lot of the... I think also getting older, it's not easy to do that weight cut. And I think losing those fights, finding out you're not going to have as much success, have success at featherweight, the size advantage didn't play out for him at that weight class. Featherweight is a dog fucking kennel, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's an absolute menace of a division to be dealing with. We've seen a bunch of featherweights coming up and smashing up lightweights. The MMA Guru really has a take on featherweights just being able to beat all lightweights, which I don't blame him. I do think that featherweights are absolutely skill-wise super up there. They're really clean, really tidy. They've got great speed, decent power, and lightweights are kind of hittable. As we just saw, Max can come up and beat the shit out of Dustin Poirier, which, I did think Poirier was going to do well at that one. But, featherweights do smash up lightweights. It does happen. It does happen a lot. And I think Drakkar Klose is not that guy. He's not fought anyone decent, really. He fought Jacasey in his, second fight in the UFC. Jacasey just allows people to beat him up, and that was at the point where Jacasey wasn't able to grapple really very well. So Drakkar Klose just took him down, held him down, did that sort of stuff to him. He's just not that good. He's just not that good. He's not that level. I think this is an easy win for Barbosa. I think he's going to look way faster in there. I think he's going to tag him with hands. Barbosa's hands are going to get way better. And I think he's going to enjoy not doing the weight cut. I think Drakkar Klose is going to have to try and really fight way more than he likes to usually. I think he keeps the same pace that he has done. I don't think he's going to do very well. The pick here is Barbosa. I think Barbosa over 1.5. I think Barbosa by decision. Drakkar Klose is tough and can mix in the takedowns to be able to make this fight a little bit dirtier. Edson Barbosa over 1.5. Easy money. Edson Barbosa outright. Easy money. Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. Cool fight here. Is not the easiest to pick either. None of these fights are on this card. They're all a little bit tricky. Both guys could win. It's a big motivation factor on this one. Alexander Hernandez has shown some real talent in there. He's a very athletic guy. Got good leg kicks, good body kicks, good hands. He's got great timing, good accuracy. A little bit inconsistent. He tends to get beaten by some guys, which he maybe shouldn't have done. But again, he got beaten by Damon Jackson. That's the most worrying one for me in this one, because obviously we've got Chase Hooper, who is filling out in the weight class. He's got great jiu-jitsu, decent-ish takedowns, decent volume, really good volume. To be honest with you, it tends to wear guys out with the pressure and the volume. Again, it's a very close fight. I think a great odd here is the over 1.5, which seems lively as fuck. I do think Hernandez has got the ability to beat Chase Hooper. He could knock him out, could hurt him on the feet. But whether or not Chase Hooper shoots the legs, manages to get takedowns, is tough to call. My pick is going to be Hernandez. He's a big dog. I do think that you might as well go on that spot. I think he's very live in this one, and I think if he's motivated, he can definitely beat Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper has been doing well, but at this level, he's not. Again, he's had 3 gimmick fights. He had Jim Miller, who's not that great of a striker. He had Clay Guida, Clay Guida is designed to be submitted by Chase Hooper in the first round. And he had against Borishev, who, again, we just saw get submitted by Terence Kinney super easily. It's a big step up for Chase Hooper. Hernandez has fought at quite a high level, decent level for a while. It's going to be a litmus test. It's a litmus test. And I think the odds is kind of crazy for this. I think a cheeky bet would be Hernandez by decision. I think he's very likely for that. He can tag Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper's a tough motherfucker. He's going to try and grapple. Hernandez hasn't got the best ground and pound. He's got great strikes. And if he knocks you out in one punch, fair enough. I don't think Chase Hooper's going to get knocked down in one punch. I do think Hernandez is going to go there late, knock him down, hurt him, maybe get tired in the third. I think he survives. I don't think he gets submitted. He's not been submitted in a fucking lot of fights, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Alexander Hernandez by decision. Jessica Andrade versus Lupi Godinez. Jessica Andrade, as we know, goated female athlete, big girl, coming in, smashed up a lot of girls. She's got great power for the weight class, a very nice left hook, leaves her chin on the plateau quite a lot, which isn't great. What worries me in this one is that Lupi Godinez is a takedown specialist. She's got great takedowns, great grappling. I do think she's going to have a grappling and size advantage in there, if I'm not mistaken, as everyone does. Slight size advantage, which actually favours Andrade in this one. However, I do think the grappling of Lupi is going to be a bit too much for Andrade. She's a big girl. Jessica Andrade versus Lupi Godinez. Cool fight here. Jessica Andrade versus Lupi Godinez. I do think this is a great fight for Lupi. Jessica Andrade is a small, stout powerhouse of a girl who's got great hands. Her takedowns were really good, but her grappling has looked worse and worse and worse. I don't know if she's got brain bleed or something going on, but she just doesn't look anywhere near as good as she has. And yeah, she's just been beaten by grapplers. Tatiana Suarez, although she's a big girl and probably one of the best grapplers in the division, had an easy time with her. Weili had an easy time with her in the grappling. Shevchenko had an easy time with her in the grappling. This is Lupi's fight to win, and I think at the odds are this close, you'd be a strange man to bet on Andrade. If you're going to bet Andrade, bet on the Andrade KO or the Andrade over 1.5 if you think Lupi can survive. I think Lupi can survive. I think Lupi's going to get this done. I don't know if it's submission or decision. I would probably go decision. It's not the safest. I think outright. Lupi Godinez, outright. It's good money. It's live. Be smart. Why did I say that? I did. Anyway. Joe Meerschaert versus Oleksiejczyk. Cool fight here. Classic striker versus grappler matchup. Joe Meerschaert doesn't get anything but these, unless it was Ritter. But, yeah. So, Joe Meerschaert they put them close on the odds, 2-5, I think, for Oleksiejczyk, because Joe Meerschaert has done pretty well. He beat Edmund Shabazian, things like that, against strikers who tend to gas a little bit. However, Oleksiejczyk is a guy who will go forward. He will fucking land hands on you. He's very accurate for a guy that is seemingly a brawler. Very accurate, lands hands to the body, lands hands to the head. Great at mixing up the combos to land body head, land hooks and straights. Does that really nicely. Changes up the angle of his punches. And I think this is going to be one where I think, although Michael Oleksiejczyk versus Gerald Meerschaert. Classic fight for Gerald Meerschaert, striker versus grappler. Can Gerald Meerschaert wear the guy down, take him down, submit him? It's the usual one for Gerald Meerschaert. It's the same with Edmund Shabazian. If he's able to deal with the fucking bombs coming at him, then he can definitely get takedowns. Gerald Meerschaert versus Michael Oleksiejczyk. Classic Gerald Meerschaert fight. Can Gerald Meerschaert deal with the striking of Oleksiejczyk in the first couple of rounds and then take him down and submit him? No. My pick is no. I don't think Gerald Meerschaert can do this, although what we have seen is him do well against someone like Edmund Shabazian. For fuck's sake. Gerald Meerschaert. Oh, you prick. Gerald Meerschaert versus Michael Oleksiejczyk. Classic Joe Mearshart fight. Can Joe Mearshart deal with the striking for the first 2 rounds until he can take the guy down and submit him? Joe Mearshart is a submission specialist who always looks quite slow on the feet. He's quite powerful, and I think that's kind of underrated. He has quite powerful kicks, and I think that's primarily where he does his best work. He's got a nice, tidy 2 and decent-ish timing, which is why he gets takedowns. That's why he gets does well with his strikes. He picks his spots really well. He's a vetted guy. Michael Olszewski is a somewhat, people call him a brawler. I don't know if he's a brawler. I think he's actually a bit of a technician. I think he's really good. I think he just fights in a bit of a whirlwind at you first round. And I think he's really accurate with his punches, which is why I don't call him a brawler. I think he's very accurate with the punches, and I think his defense is underrated. All you got to do is look at the Cabral fight, where Cabral, again, does well and breaks him down over the fight, but Cabral isn't able to take him down. He's not able to take him down for the first round until he gets gassed. And can Joe Mearshart deal with the shots that Cabral was eating? Is Joe Mearshart as fast defensively as Cabral? Is his footwork as good as Cabral? No, none of those things. He's got slow feet. He's just a bit of a fucking... Yeah, he's a decent guy, but he looks like an old man there, and he has done for his whole career. I think he's going to be way too slow for Olszewski. I think Olszewski's got fast hands, fast, accurate hands. I think he's going to land to the body, to the head, and I think he's going to knock out Joe Mearshart out in the first round. It's a spot that's a little bit spicy. It's spiced up to 2-5. If you want to go 2-5, I think fine, but I think you're better off going Olszewski KO if you want to be safe. KO first and second if you want to be a little bit spicier, and KO in the first if you want to be an absolute baller, big bald man, which is what I'm going to do. Tim Elliott versus Kai Sakura. Cool fucking fight here. We got Tim Elliott, who is the Hellcat, the wild man. The boy's going to be chucking shit at you all day and all night. He's just doing weird shit. Always doing weird shit. He's never an easy fight. But he is taggable. That's the issue I have with him. He's got takedowns. He's got striking. He's got great ground game. You know, can mix shit up, can reverse shit a lot of the time. I think if this goes to the ground, it's going to be Tim Elliott winning that. But Kai Sakura got it from Pantoja a couple of times, and I do rate that a lot. Pantoja's a really big guy who's able to get back quite easily. To get fucking Kai Sakura down and not be able to hold him down is props to fucking Kai Sakura. We've only seen him one fight in the UFC, and I think he's going to be something special. I don't think he's going to, maybe not the highest level, maybe he's not going to beat Pantoja, but he is a very fast striker. Tall for the weight class, despite not being statistically on the thingy. Although, that's the thing. He is tall. It's just Tim Elliott is also a tall guy. But Tim Elliott does get hit a lot. I think he's going to be a massive speed disadvantage. I think he's going to look in there and try and grapple. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near Kai Sakura's feet. I think this is Kai Sakura's fight to win. I think he's way better on the feet. Although Tim Elliott's a creepoid and he might do some creepy shit. He might land something, maybe hurt him. But Kai Sakura is going to win this fight by decision. Maybe by KO, but probably decision. Jared Cannonier versus MVP. Cool fight here. Litmus test and an old man test. We're going to see where Jared Cannonier is. He, is a dog. Came out there, got beaten up by Joe Rodriguez, but then came back. Looks tough. He's got good leg kicks, decent fucking clinch work, big guy. MVP was moving up a weight class again to fight because he couldn't get a fight at welterweight, too much politics and all that sort of shit. Understandable. I fully understand why people don't want to fight MVP. He's a guy, he doesn't want to fight wrestlers. The only people that are going to want to fight him as wrestlers, because anyone striking is going to be having a nightmare with fucking MVP. He's super fast. We just saw, what was it called? One of the guys who's supposed to be the fastest guy in the UFC, or one of the fastest guys strikers in the UFC, really struggled with him to deal with him on the feet. And I think we're going to see that probably again. I think what it's going to be here is we're going to see Jared Cannonier trying to land the leg kicks on MVP. If that doesn't work, Cannonier is going to try and grapple with MVP. If that doesn't work, he's going to lose the fight. Do I think Jared Cannonier can grapple MVP? Probably. What we've seen from MVP is that he is a tall, long guy who has a long man defense, but the physicality of Jared Cannonier, I think, is going to show in this one. I think Jared Cannonier is coming out here to prove a point. MVP, motivation-wise, he wants to look good. He wants to have these fights. He just wants to make a bit of money. And I don't think he would obviously like to win, but he's probably getting paid a decent whack, so he doesn't care that much if he wins. He just wants to get back in the thing. And I think if he loses this fight, he's going to get more fights. Yeah, if he wins this fight, he's going to look great. He's going to be jabbing Cannonier up. He's going to be hurting him. He probably gets the KO on Cannonier, to be honest with you. But what I don't love about MVP is that he tends to take his time He'll wait, blast it, wait. But he spent a lot of the fight waiting, which means that he hurts people, but doesn't really follow up and finish them. So yeah, I'm going to pick the dog Cannonier to come in here and grapple MVP, get some elbows off on the ground, hurt MVP. Where he finishes him or not, I do not know. I think MVP is going to be up at night over in the first round. Cannonier past the second. Seems like good money. Jeff Neal versus Carlos Pratis. Sick fucking fight here. This is a cool fight. Again, not the easiest to read. Carlos Pratis is both strikers. Carlos Pratis and Jeff Neal are both primarily boxers. Pratis has got a really nice knee, step-in knee, which he lands on a lot of guys. Grabs a hold of your wrist and just knees the shit out of you. Did against Radke. But, Jeff Neal's got a good, nice leg kick. Unfortunately, Jeff Neal only fights on a straight line. He only walks forward and won't strike if you're moving around or circling, which is why we saw him lose against Wonderboy. It's just one of them ones where Pratis, I think, comes from a very good camp. I think the fight nerds are really something special. They are really, really good at game planning for opponents, and I think they're going to do that in this fight. Pratis is also the bigger guy. He's got, I think, 3 inches on him height-wise and a bunch of reach in the actual arm reach. He's gonna be the bigger guy there. I think he's gonna jab up Jeff Neal, look to be evasive. I think he's gonna move. If he gets into a wall, close fight. But I do think Pratis is the bigger guy in there. I think he's gonna do well. I think he's probably gonna win by decision, which is probably gonna be good odds actually. Leon Murphy versus Aaron Pico. Cool fight here, pretty close. I think we've got Leon Murphy, who's undefeated boxer coming out of England, looking great. Great takedown defense, great jab offense, great footwork. Good leg kicks, mixing up everything. Good timing on things. Doesn't overexert himself, but make sure he wins the rounds. Aaron Pico, good boxer. Coming in obviously from Bellator, PFL, that sort of area. And great boxer. Really looks to counters, really looks to hit hard. Has good wrestling. Can he get it against Leon Murphy? I don't know if he's going to get takedowns on Leon Murphy. I don't know if he's going to get close to him on the footwork. I don't know if he's going to get into these exchanges with Leon Murphy, which is where he wants to win. Leon Murphy does really well moving around on the back foot, popping you with jabs, popping you with that sort of stuff. And I think Pico does better when people want to exchange with him. If he gets people throwing a right hand, he's going to be fucking slipping and ripping, throwing uppercuts, straight right hands, all that sort of stuff. He's got a decent jab, but it's not one of his weapons that he's going to go back to over and over again. He'll pop it out and not throw it for like 2 or 3 more minutes to the round. He wants to look for that exchange. He wants to grapple with you. I don't think Leon Murphy's going to give him that. I don't think Leon Murphy's going to give him that at all. I think this is, again, the UFC keep on doing this to undefeated fighters or other people coming in from the organizations. They're giving them really tough matchups because they want to prove that the UFC is better than all these other guys, than all these other organizations by giving them fucking hard motherfucking matchups. They were going to give him Evloev, which is fucked up, and now they're giving him Leon Murphy, which is arguably even tougher of an opponent. Yeah, for me, Leon Murphy, by decision, is great money. It's going to be free money, good money. He's a dog. Outrageous. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Probably the hardest fight on the card to pick because, again, both guys have a massive way to win. All the other fights, people have ways to win, and you can kind of predict where they're going to go. This one is a very unpredictable fight. We've got Khamzat, who is an absolute smasher on the ground. He's probably going to submit. His probably best bet to win this fight is to submit DDP. He could knock down DDP, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did it in the early rounds. But I think he's going to go out there and grapple the shit out of DDP early, try and get that submission. If he doesn't get it done, DDP is the guy who's going to be the more athletic guy, who's going to have elate. He's going to have the more, gas tank. He's going to have the endurance. He's going to have the fight in him to fucking win that fight by finish. Chimaev is probably going to look to win by decision if it goes past the first round. His mentality is an interesting one. Whether or not Chimaev comes out here and grapples like a motherfucker in the first round, I think that would benefit him massively. I think if he tries to go late, I think he's going to get caught in that trap and lose the decision or lose by finish later on. I think probably if he goes in there with the slow pace, he's going to lose by decision. If he goes in there spamming like a fucking motherfucker, he's probably going to win by submission or lose by KO or finish later on in the fight. But yeah, I do think this is Chimaev's fight. I'm gonna pick Chimaev. This is a close fucking fight. DDP's goated as fuck. He's very, very, very impressive who he's beaten and how he's beaten them. But Chimaev is a force. I might eat these words massively, but I do think he's an absolute menace on the ground. I think his rear naked choke is nasty as fuck. He may be a little bit submission over position, which may cost him in this fight, actually. Again, very close fight. I think if you're going to bet, if you're going to create a parlay, don't put this on that. Do not put this on that, because DDP is likely to win by decision. Chimaev is likely to win by submission. DDP is likely to win by KO finish by the end of the fight. Is not the one to put in a parlay. But if you like it, there's going to be good odds there. DDP late finish, going to be good odds. Chimaev sub, early, decent odds. DDP decision, very good odds. So yeah, I think if the best way to do this card is to do the early stuff as usual. Do the early stuff, and if you find a spot late, pick that. If you find a spot once you've won a bunch of money, then do that shit. Last week we won 1.2k of £30. We're gonna do the same this week. We're gonna fucking do the same this week. We've got a nice lot of cards. I'm pretty certain on who's gonna win these fights, and yeah, we're gonna put some sort of long shot parlay on there then, some short parlays, win some money on as we go. Let's win 2k this fucking week.